In this video, we are going to be talking all about meditation. I recently had a friend ask me how I meditate, and I forget sometimes that a lot of people don't do this, even though we all know that we probably should, and it would benefit us a lot if we could just integrate that into our daily practice. So I just wanted to talk about it and give you some of the tips that I've picked up along the way that have made it super easy for me to just do it daily. Not to mention, meditation is definitely the reason why I even was catapulted into a spiritual awakening. So, if that's something that you're interested in, then maybe meditation will be good for you. My name is Catherine. I'm an energy healer, spiritual coach, and nurse practitioner. If you need personalized coaching or an energy healing from yours truly, you can go to my website at catherineglassman.com, or you can email me at hello@catherineglassman.com. So, what is meditation? My personal definition of meditation, and I'm sure it's not just my definition, but the way that I like to describe meditation to other people is the practice of letting go of almost everything, mostly thoughts and emotions, but really just letting go of everything. Being able to get into a space where you are no longer thinking about your daily life. You're not even thinking about you as a person. You're almost just not even thinking. You're just existing. It seems like the second we wake up, we are inundated with text messages and emails and social media feeds and the news and noises coming from the kitchen and outside and cars and things like that. And every day, all day, we are just bombarded with noise and data, and it can be very overwhelming. And sometimes it's just good to take a step back and to just turn it all off. You know, it's funny because I actually made a meme a long time ago when my awakening was first starting and I was really getting into meditation. And the meme said, meditation, the church that was specifically built for you. I still believe that. I still believe that if you want to connect to source frequency, connect with God, just connect with all that is, then meditation will definitely help you do that. And, you know, with my personal beliefs, I believe that God is everything, including you, including me. And so, the best way to understand God or to understand and connect with source frequency is to not necessarily go to a church or an organization or anything outside of you, but rather to go deep within. Because deep within is the universe, is existence itself, is God. There's a little spark of source frequency within all of us. And if you meditate, you can connect with that spark. But besides connecting with the all and the spark of God, there are other benefits too, like relaxation, helps with anxiety, helps with concentration, helps spark creativity. It lowers blood pressure, helps you fall asleep naturally. There are just a number of benefits. And those are just the immediate benefits. I think that the long-term benefits are improved intuition, increased psychic abilities, the ability to channel information from God. You're able to recognize when there is something that is outside of you, like being able to recognize intrusive thoughts. Meditation will definitely help you open your third eye. So, story time, and I put this in a different video, my spiritual awakening video actually. But when I first started to wake up, I started to wake up because of meditation. I just decided that meditation was something that I wanted to try. I just knew that there were some benefits to it. I had never tried it before, so I just wanted to give it a shot. I didn't know anything about the chakras, but I bought a book on the chakras. And in there, it showed how you can meditate to each chakra. I couldn't tell you which chakra. I was probably on the root chakra, actually. It was the very beginning of the book. And so you open the book, and it shows you a picture of the Sanskrit symbol of the root chakra. and you keep it open and you have it open and you kind of close your eyes a little bit, but you're looking at the picture. And there was a mantra that you recited as well. But I don't think I did the mantra. I think I just looked at it and just quieted my mind. And I would do this for about 15, 20 minutes. I did it for 2 days. And each time I felt like I was really going deep somewhere. Like my consciousness was definitely altered. I had never felt that way before. So I knew intuitively that I was doing it right, but I really didn't know what I was doing at all. And so I did it one night, I was fine. The next night, I'm just in my room, in my apartment, and the lights are off, and I have a candle, and I'm just doing this meditation. I feel very peaceful. And out of nowhere, I heard my name. And it sounded like someone was running from one side of the room to the other and just saying my name, like, Kathy. And I tell you what, scared the bejesus out of me. Okay. I turned on the lights, I blew out the candle, and just sat there and was just scared and confused about what just happened because I had never experienced that before. I'd never experienced hearing my name where it sounded like it was outside of me, but also inside my head at the same time. And so it freaked me out. And I was raised Catholic. And so I was raised with these beliefs that demons and things like that existed and, opening portals and stuff like that. And so because of those beliefs, I just believed that I was opening up some sort of portal and I let something dark into my room and that meditation was probably not a good thing to do. So I stopped. I stopped meditating. I didn't meditate for a solid year after that. And so, that was that. After the year, I spoke to this psychic medium at a bar that I was working at, and I told her the story, and she said that I wasn't protecting myself when I was meditating. And so she gave me some tips on how to protect myself. And so I decided to try it again. And this time I was meditating in the middle of my living room in the middle of the day with all of the drapes open. So there was a lot of light coming in. I just felt like it would be safer and no ghosts would come get me. And so I just meditated that way. And I went deep again. I couldn't tell you what meditation I was doing, but I went very deep just within a matter of 10 minutes. And I felt good. I will say though that for the next 2 weeks after that, I started hearing voices right before I'd go to bed, and they were just disembodied voices, and I couldn't understand exactly what they were saying. I could only feel the tone and the energy, and it wasn't the most pleasant. This is the part where I felt like I was becoming schizophrenic, and it was starting to scare me. And so for 2 weeks, I just struggled to go to sleep because I was just hearing these voices. And I remember holding my hands to my ears to just make it stop. I just looked like a crazy person. And eventually they went away, and I was like, for sure, I cannot meditate anymore, ever. And then after that, you can watch that video, but after that, lucid dreaming started, and then astral projection and yada, yada. Now, of course, at the time, I was freaking out and I didn't know what was happening to me. Today, I am so grateful that I experienced all of that because I am such a different person now than who I was at that time. Being able to experience those things and know that these things are real, and not only are they real, but we as humans are a part of that world, and we have the ability to master our own lives and our own reality. I'm probably the healthiest I've ever been in my life. I'm definitely the happiest. I'm the most at peace. And it all started with meditation. And I know that story might scare some people, but I think from my experience now, I'm able to guide people a little bit more. I mean, I'm able to guide people, period. Whereas at that time, I didn't know what was happening to me. I'm pretty sure, did I even look on YouTube? Yeah, I looked on YouTube a little bit, But there really wasn't a whole lot because there just wasn't a whole lot of people talking about these things at that time. And so, I was going to temples and all these other places, and, nobody could really help. But I definitely, meditation has always just been, it's always the catalyst to everything that's good that happens to me. And then, of course, there are other things too. Like I would meditate while I was at work in the emergency room. I would take my 30-minute lunch. I would take 15 minutes to eat. And then I would spend the other 15 minutes either in my car or outside by myself, just meditating. And I would go from being in a really stressful state, like high intensity, high cortisol levels, to just relaxed. And I've even had people comment like, gosh, you seem so chill. And I tell them like, yeah, I meditate during lunch. I'm really, anytime I feel stressed out, if I'm not doing EFT tapping, then I'm meditating in some form. So what are the different types of meditation that you can practice? The first one that comes to mind is transcendental meditation. Now, this is a trademarked technique that involves a TM practitioner or certified master. I'm not really sure what they're called, but they are practitioners that give you a particular mantra. And I could be wrong. Someone told me once that it's kind of based on your birthday and it's a very unique mantra for you. And so when you quiet your mind, you just repeat this mantra over and over again. I've heard some really great things about it. I've never practiced it myself, but I've heard some really good things about it. Another one is guided meditations. I think guided meditations are the perfect place to start off. You can find many of them on YouTube, and it basically just has you walk through a visual. So someone with a very lovely voice and maybe some ocean sounds in the background will guide you down a path by the beach, and you can hear the waves splashing against the shore. You can feel the cool breeze against your skin. They'll be very descriptive, and it's like you're transported to that place. That is a perfect place to start if you don't know anything about meditation or if you've never done it before. Another form of meditation is mindfulness. So this is something that I try to practice all the time. I don't do it all the time, but I try to practice it all the time, is just staying present. With anything that you're doing, just try to stay very present in that moment and catch yourself if you find yourself daydreaming about other things or thinking about other things that you need to do. This is very important for my line of work as a nurse practitioner, especially in the urgent care setting. I will admit that it is tempting to start wandering off with my thoughts when, maybe a patient's kind of deviating from the question and starting to talk about their grandchildren and other things that don't really pertain to the conversation. And I don't want to be rude and cut them off. And so I just kind of let them say what they need to say. But then I'm tempted to start thinking about other things and so being mindful has definitely helped with that. Because obviously I kind of need to pay attention in those scenarios, right? But I practice mindfulness with other things too. If I am going outside and doing yard work and raking up leaves, I try to really focus on raking up the leaves, looking at the leaves, right? Looking at the grass and feeling the way my hands feel on the rake, like really being present. And even though this isn't necessarily a meditation, especially when there are other people involved, when you're by yourself and you're just doing a task and you are really focused on that task, it definitely can turn into a meditation. Movement meditation, like a walking meditation, or what we all know as yoga. Yoga is just meditation with moving your body. You really just focus on your breath and you focus on the poses. Focus meditation is where you focus on one particular thing, When I was first starting off, this is what I would do often, especially if I wasn't looking at a chakra book or doing a guided meditation. I would do focus meditation. And my go-to meditation was to visualize what I called a desert rose. I know what a desert rose looks like, but this particular desert rose for me was a beautiful pink rose in the middle of a desert. And just, there's sand blowing everywhere, and like the wind is kind of whipping it around, and I can hear it, and I can almost like smell the rose. And if I were to reach out, I can touch the petals and feel how soft they were. And I would focus on this one rose just for 15 minutes straight. You can also do this with a candle. Earlier today, when I was meditating, I was actually staring at like my doorknob, just a doorknob, and just staring at it. I mean, sometimes it's not the most glamorous or exciting, but it can be exciting if it's a challenge for you, which it can be for me. Spiritual meditation. So some people use prayer, and it's very similar to repeating a mantra, but rather than a mantra, you can use a prayer, like repeating the Hail Mary while holding a rosary and going down each bead and saying the prayer. Progressive meditation is where you do a body scan, and body part by body part, you start to relax. This definitely was a game changer for me when it comes to falling asleep. Wow. I used to work night shift. When I first started as a nurse, they would make us go from night shift for 2 months and then day shift for 2 months. And they would make us go back and forth like twice so that we can get a feel for, how each shift works. That was a very difficult time for me to sleep. And not to mention, I was going through other things too, and so I just had insomnia all the time. I was taking Ambien, Benadryl. I was taking the hard-hitting sleep meds and still struggling. Of course, I did not want to be on those medications. And so I learned about meditation, and that helped. I would just relax my body, like starting from my head all the way down to my toes. And actually, that particular meditation is what caused me to have out-of-body experiences. And then eventually I used that technique to perform astral projection. So just keep that in mind. You might come out of your body. As of right now, my personal favorite meditation is to visualize white light coming from above, source frequency, the center of the universe, coming down to the top of my head and swirling all of my chakras in a clockwise position. And I also imagine like a forest green light coming from the earth and coming up through my root chakra and swirling in the same direction all the way up to my crown. And every inhale that I take, I bring those energies in, and the heart chakra is in the center of all the chakras, right? And so it comes into my heart, and then when I exhale, those energies go out into my auric field. And then my auric field is just full of source and earth energy. And so I do this for 15 minutes, and wow, I feel so cleansed, so energized. I just feel but so grounded at the same time. It's definitely just my go-to. I don't know. I just feel like it just feels great. But of course, right? Like I meditate for different reasons. If I feel like there is an attachment on me, then I will visualize white light coming from the sky and pouring down on me like a shower. And whatever those attachments are gets soaked into the earth, because then the earth uses those energies for her own benefit. Now, there are some things to know about meditation. One thing that you do need to know is that the goal is to not fall asleep. It will be very easy to do that. It's certainly very easy for me. I mean, I can fall asleep sitting up straight. So if I feel like I am about to do that, then I will meditate with my eyes open. But you don't want to fall asleep, but you do want to be relaxed. And so The clothing that you wear is going to matter. You want to wear loose fitted clothing. You don't want to wear anything tight. You don't want to wear an elastic band that's going to cut off your circulation. You don't want to wear tight jewelry. You just want to feel comfortable because you want to get into a state where you're not really feeling your body anymore. I would definitely recommend noise canceling headphones if you live in a space that is a little noisy or if you have children. This is definitely a practice that you will want to, the goal is to go inward. And so it will be very difficult if you're constantly being distracted all the time when you're just trying to meditate. So noise canceling headphones are definitely helpful. Now, if you're an auditory person like myself, then you may need to use music as well. I like to use binaural beats, solfeggio beats. Sometimes I'll listen to a guided meditation. I really like shamanic drumming. I use shamanic drumming when I'm trying to get information or if I'm just trying to journey by myself. I love shamanic drumming. Sometimes I'll listen to Native American flutes. I personally try to stay away from music that has words because then it makes me focus on what they're saying rather than going inward, unless it's a guided meditation. But I think guided meditations are great for whatever the goal may be that you're using it for, but I personally don't use guided meditations now for that reason. But that's just me personally. And then sometimes you may be able to just listen to silence. I actually prefer that if I can. So I will probably make a video about this at some point, but there are certain types of music that if I listen to it, then it will get stuck in my head. And I believe that it was designed that way. And so as long as I don't have like music stuck in my head, then I can sit there in silence and just listen to that small humming or that small buzzing that you listen to, that you can hear when it's like too quiet. That is what I actually prefer to listen to. And plus, it makes it easier for me to hear messages or get downloads that way. You'll also want to make sure that your body is comfortable as well. You don't want to eat a lot of sugar. You don't want to drink caffeine. You're not going to want to stimulate your body in any way because it's going to be very distracting. It's being sick or having some sort of physical ailment keeps you grounded because you are in your body, because you are experiencing your body. But when you meditate, it's to help you pull out of that and more into your consciousness. And so, you do want to be fed, but you don't want to be super full either because that can kind of create some discomfort too. And again, this is not a perfect science, right? And I certainly am not going to tell you that my way of doing things is the right way because it's not. It's just my way. I'm just sharing with you things that have worked for me. And this is just something that I've noticed, that if I'm really full, I can't really get into that state as quickly as I usually can, as long if I'm, just feeling fine. Same thing with sugar. If I eat a lot of sugar, it gets me kind of hyper, right? I get like the sugar high and then I'm for sure not meditating. And caffeine, forget about it. It's not happening. It's not. I'm just going to sit there in my anxious state, having palpitations, and that will be my meditation. So no caffeine for me. I think the biggest thing of all, though, is a lot of people get intimidated by the practice of meditation because they think that they're just not good at it. They're not going to be able to do it. Maybe they have ADHD and they just can't turn their brain off. Whatever the case may be, I personally think that if you really believe that you're not good at it or that you just can't turn your brain off, then you, of all people, are probably the one that needs to do it the most. And it doesn't need to be this, complicated process where you're meditating 30 minutes twice a day or an hour once a day. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You can literally just meditate for 5 minutes a day. I personally think that the most important thing about incorporating meditation into your life is to just do it consistently. Just to bring it into your life on a consistent basis. I think setting aside 5 minutes a day is not a lot to ask for. And the benefits that you will get will outweigh any time that you have to put towards it. All you need to do is just to sit up, right? You can sit up straight, that way you don't fall asleep. You can lay down, if you don't think you're going to fall asleep. I know I will. I can fall asleep very easily. And so I sit up straight, make sure my spine is nice and straight. And, I like to have a back, like the back of a chair, to support me because I have a very tall torso. And sitting up straight, just by myself, it can cause a little bit of aching after a while in my lower back. So I like to just have the back supporting me, but sitting up straight, and choose a meditation. Sometimes I'll just focus on my breathing and just count, 4 counts in, 4 counts out, and just do that for 5 minutes. Set a timer, and then you're done. And you just meditated for the day. You will see, I think, you'll see the benefits start to build up on itself over time. You're not necessarily going to see the benefits immediately. I mean, you might feel relaxed, you might be in a better mood, right, immediately. But the effects over time are really going to be what shows its true benefit. It's this increased intuition. It's this connection with the other world, this connection to God, and this ability to be able to trust that you are on the correct path, right? It's all of these spiritual connections and experiences that end up following after incorporating meditation into your practice. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, right? Do I know everything about spiritual awakenings? Of course not. Do I have some experience? Yes. Why do I have that experience? Because of meditation. It's as simple as that. I mean, I just don't think that I could have any of these experiences without it, really. And that's just me. I know that there are people out there that are just naturally gifted psychically and, have these abilities, and I think that's wonderful, and that's really cool, and I wish that's how I was, but I'm not. Sometimes my gifts come on naturally and just turn on in the moment. And then sometimes, most of the time, I have to sit and meditate and really focus on what it is that I'm trying to gain. Now, the one piece of information that I did channel about meditation, specifically for this video, is I asked the question, what is the true purpose of meditation? And the information that I got was that meditation will help you bring you back to your original 0-point blueprint, meaning that it will help you come back to the original essence that you are, that original soul and consciousness that has nothing to do with your human. It has nothing to do with your job, your family, your house, your problems, your anxiety, your emotions. It has nothing to do with any of that, because the consciousness that resides within your body is the one that's observing all of these things. And it's also taking in all of the data from all of your experiences as a human in this lifetime, right? It's just data. But meditating long enough for consistently will help you bring you back to that true original essence, that essence that is nothing but everything. It's that essence that is that spark of God within you. When you're able to tap into that spark, everything becomes possible. You're able to move forward as a human with the understanding that that's what you actually are. And so all of the issues and data and problems and whatever, they just stay as that. They don't actually have a real dire effect on you. It just becomes like a challenge, sure, as a human being, yeah. But it doesn't define you. Nothing really defines you because you know that you are part of the great creator and therefore you get to create your life. You get to create your existence. And being able to tap into that is apparently the true purpose of meditation. That's just what I channel. It resonates with me. I like it. And that part definitely makes meditation sound intimidating. But again, it's not about perfecting it because you're going to mess up, right? You're going to mess up. You're going to try to meditate on a doorknob for 5 minutes, and then you're going to start thinking about the grocery list that you needed to make, right? That's going to happen. All you need to do is just catch yourself doing that and redirect yourself back to the doorknob or back to the guided meditation or back to your breathing. Okay. The more you catch yourself and you bring yourself back, the easier it will be and the less often you'll have to do that. But again, you have to do it consistently, preferably every single day. I will admit that I don't meditate enough, I feel. Even though I do it in some form every day, there are times where life just starts lifing and I get caught up in it and I don't actually sit down and meditate for the full 15 to 20 minutes that I said that I was going to do. But when I do, it's so profound and it feels really good. And it is probably profound and feels really good, probably because I'm connecting with that spark of God. So, but anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope it's helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.